Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Adventures in Truth livecast. My name is Jim Case. I am your host. I'm thrilled to be here with you today, and I hope you're as thrilled to be here with me. We have a great conversation today about the brain, interestingly enough. Believe it or not, what ties the brain to this whole platform is really about understanding what the brain is, how the brain operates, but not from necessarily the physical vantage point. We know scientifically what happens too, but this is about the energy of the brain. This is about how it's all part of the observation process. And so, whoops, wrong one. Adventures in Truth livecast. So we're going to talk about the brain, and we're going to talk about it from the perspective of the tuner, the receiver, the amplifier, and how that works and what it means with regard to how we change our relationship with fear and how we understand more completely our relationship with all things, including our brain and our bodies and our physiology and all that. But before we begin, I would love to encourage you and thank you, first off, for being here. But I would like to encourage you to share this live window if you happen to be on Facebook. Make sure you hit subscribe and like. Make sure you hit subscribe and like on YouTube if you're there watching. If you're at E360 TV, thank you for joining us. Great network and glad to be a part of it. Thank you for watching. And also you can watch through E360 TV, but on my website at www.adventuresintruth.com. But thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting the show. And I appreciate y'all very much. And we're going to get started here and get ready to dive in. So we'll be right back right after this. Yes, Fear is a Choice. Fearisachoicebook.com. Please check it out. Fear is a Choice book, powerful tool. We're going to be talking about it a little bit in context with the brain today, but book's been out for a year, I'm excited to say, and to thank you all who have ordered the book and who continue to be interested and who have found the changes and things that you seek through the book. I'm so grateful that you've reached out for it. It's an amazing tool to help change your relationship with fear. And keeping it simple and keeping it to the point. That's the essence of everything I do in this platform. But with regard to this book, it's a powerful thing because it helps you to understand the evolution of fear and then understand how you can change that relationship with fear. And I think that's important when you're trying to change the relationship, is that part of this is just evolution happening, right? It's part of what we've experienced. It's part of what we've been entrained to in the human experience. And so understanding those levels and how that all works is very important to changing your relationship with fear and understanding that fear is a choice. And so that you can unravel the illusion of your separation from love, which we just did a great show about separation about a week ago. Check that out. Also applies to this as well. We took a chapter right out of the book and went through and talked about it all. So www.fearisachoicebook.com. Head to the website. There you can order your copy. There are links for Amazon, Barnes & Noble, IndieBound, and all that good stuff. You can read the testimonials and you can learn more about me and about the book. And you can reach out to me there if you have any questions or comments, and I'd love to hear from you. So fearisachoicebook.com. Check it out, and we will be right back. All right, the year of conscious creation. My world is good. 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 I do that for you so that you can experience in your own right, in your own time. My world is good. This is the year of conscious creation. Self-proclaimed, absolutely. But it comes from a deep place of experiencing life and seeing life through the lens that I was seeing it through and saying, hey, how do I make a change? If I don't want to be a politician, if I don't necessarily have an inkling for that, or I don't want to be out in the world in some other fashion in that way, but I want to contribute, I want to make change, how can I do that? Well, ultimately, we're all about energy. So the more energy we use in a particular fashion, the more it shows up in the world in front of us, because that is what is happening. The world is reflecting back our perception based on our beliefs, ideas, thoughts, and all of that good stuff. So my world is good is a way to create a neutral, positive statement. So here we are, 7.5 to 8 billion unique worlds inhabiting one planet. And these 7.5 to 8 billion unique worlds are you and me and Joe and Paul and Steve and Sue and everybody. But we are in our own worlds. Even though others are with us, we are still in our own world. And why that's important to understand is because ultimately, no one can live your life for you. No one can change your life for you but you, or without your consent. So everything that you're doing and everything that you're creating, you want to make sure that you're staying in that place of conscious creation so you're not layering fear into the process, right? Well, so here at 7.5 billion unique worlds, so here we are, each of us having to create and generate an energy within our world that helps support us and uplift us and carry us forward. And that's what My World is Good is about. It's about creating that positive flow in your life, that you begin to see the goodness in the world because it is what you are reflecting and it's what is reflected back to you. Very important in this process. Understanding that everything sources in energy and you can start the change by changing the energy around you. And so as you change that energy, and then as we come together, whether it's, even a married couple, even families are all existing in their own world, co-creating and cohabitating and working together. But ultimately, and if you're a parent, I'm sure you know this, you have zero control over what's going to happen in the future with your child. You can simply provide frameworks, you can provide support, you can provide love, you can provide guidance, but ultimately they get to live their experience, their thoughts, their beliefs, their ideas, all come together in their world. So as we do My World is Good and we come together in that energy, we begin to share that energy. And to me, that then creates a tipping point for a change in the mass consciousness. That change in the mass consciousness is to a positive end. My world is good. I want to see and do see the goodness in my world every day because I do the exercise, because I'm fully engaged. Do it in a place of appreciation. Find things that you appreciate as you're doing it. Focus on them inside and outside. Speak it out loud and then feel it as deeply and powerfully as you can while you're considering and tapping into all that powerful appreciation that you have, and then speak it again. Put it out there in the world. My world is good. Don't be afraid to say it. Don't be afraid to blast it. My world is good. Let your world be good and amazing. And thank you for being part of this movement, because I feel and experience every day more and more how people are participating, and you can start to feel the change. You see it in your own world, but then you can start to feel it because more and more of that energy is showing up on the planet and in your world. So check it out. There's no WW there. My world is good. You don't even have to sign up for it. Just your energy, your attention, and intention. Look at me. I'm already so ready to go. I'm ready to tell you where to go. Go inside. Go into the center of you. Find that space. Find that space. We're going to go there in just a minute in our moment of reflection. So again, we'll be right back after this, and we'll carry on with the show. All right, here we go. Our brains, tuner, receiver, and amplifier. This is going to be a fun conversation. So I'm not a scientist. I'm not claiming to be a scientist. I am an energy expert, I think. I know a lot about energy. I've studied it for years. I have made my life an example of how to use energy, both sometimes as good as I can and sometimes not so great. But at every juncture, I strive to learn those things and understand more at every level how this energetic thing operates. And as I've been experiencing different things over the last couple months or so, particularly within the last week or two, I've become acutely aware of the need to understand what's happening between my ears, because as I've developed my meditation process, as I've developed my ability to become the observer, which we'll talk about, I can observe what's happening between my ears and just absolutely go, what? What is going on here? And it occurred to me that I think we're looking at this a little bit the wrong way. And why I say that is because if we understand energy and you understand that frequency is what drives most everything, vibration, right? We talk about alignment. We talk about when you choose something, when you want something, you have to align with it. We talk about alignment in the context of relationships. Are you aligned in the context of your relationship with yourself? What are you aligned to? Are you aligned to the ego? Or are you aligned to the soul? Are you there sometimes and here sometimes? Or are you aligned to some other belief altogether that's driving your reality? Those are all vibrational realities. Those are all parts of the vibrational reality. And how the brain fits into this equation is that from my perspective, I see this amazing organ as a tuner and a receiver and an amplifier. It receives energy, it broadcasts energy based on your thoughts, based on your emotions. It broadcasts, right? It's an amplifier. That's all part of that law of attraction idea, isn't it? That we have a feeling, we have a thought, we have a desire, and we begin to build that in our energy. We build that, and if you think about it in terms of law of attraction, they talk about it building it through the feeling of it, right? What's the outcome of this desire? I want to feel better. I want to feel more connected. I want to feel more alive. I want to feel whatever it is I want to feel. And as we move into that, as we begin to align into that, we are amplifying that energy, and that energy is coming back to us. And every time it returns, we have another opportunity to see how we are in relation to the thing that we desire. Well, I think that happens in the energy, but in it that is amplified through the brain. If you are trying to align with something, you want the tuner, right? Everything you want is at a certain frequency, at a certain vibration. And depending on where you are at your core vibration, you are reaching for something that is beyond your current vibration because it's not physically in your space, right? Sometimes it's easy. I want a bag of potato chips. I go to the store and grab a bag of potato chips. That's an easy one. But some of the other larger things or more important things may not be feeling as easy. And that whole alignment piece is because the alignment is about, you got to get this thing tuned to the right frequency. You got to get this thing that's amplifying this energy, you got to get it tuned to the right energy so that it can pick up that signal, just like a radio. You're dialing it around, looking for your alignment with this. And so you're working your dials, and as you do, you encounter different experiences, what we call contrast. Or maybe it's resistance caused by contrast. Or maybe it's contrast that's a result of noticing your resistance. In any case, it's all coming in the same way, right? You have this desire, You have this tuner trying to align, trying to find the frequency so that you and it can be in the same vibrational space and it can show up. And so as you tune and you don't quite get there, you get and it veers off. Then you're going to get feedback from your world, from your experience, that's going to help you fine tune even more, because that tuner is going to alert you to a belief, an idea, a thought, whatever energy is in between you and your desire. It's going to resonate there, and it's going to want your attention, because in order for you to change your energy, you have to shift your vibration, and you have to shift in alignment with that. If you're not, then you're cattywampus to it, and unfortunately you create a creation, or excuse me, a manifestation issue in your world. So we're going to dive into this even more. There's a great analogy I want to use here on the other side of our moment of focus. But right now what we're going to do is we're going to move into our moment of focus. And this is a great opportunity. This is where the rubber meets the road for me. I encourage you for the daily practice. I encourage you to work on breathing, and I encourage you to develop that observer. And so part of this show every week, every day, is to bring that forward for all of you. So what I want you to do right now is just get comfortable where you are, and I want you to focus into your heart. That's the part in the center of your chest. And you can take your middle finger and just gently kind of feel your way on the breastbone there. And as you feel your way on the breastbone, about halfway down there, so say 40, maybe 45 degrees from your nipples, maybe, but you'll feel a little divot, a little soft spot, which is the heart point. Just be aware of it, but just so that you know it's there, but you can tap into that anytime. And just gentle merge into that point can create a release of energy. And as you breathe with that, you begin to expand that release of energy. So wherever you are, again, you're going to begin with breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Beautiful. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And with each breath, I want you to settle more deeply into the state and space that you're in. Just settling into your body and focusing into your heart as you breathe. And just be aware of how you breathe as you breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. And when I say how you breathe, just be aware of how breath moves through you. When you're breathing, do you breathe high in the chest, or do you breathe in the belly? Do you breathe into the back, or do you breathe in 360 degrees? As you're breathing, do you get a depth to your breath, or is it staying up high? Is it staying shallow? Again, no right or wrong answer. Just observe your experience of your breath. This is part of becoming consciously aware of what affects you and what creates and stimulates your vibration. So as you're continuing to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, focus deeply into the heart center. As you close your eyes and focus deeply into your space, with that inhale and that exhale, I want you to become aware of your field, your energy. What is that? That is everything that emanates from the center of your being outside of your body. And if your eyes are closed and you're feeling into it, you can tangibly feel your energy. You can get a sense of this enormous field that surrounds you, that's bristling with movement and aliveness and all kinds of things. The energy is just vibrating. And as you become aware of that vibration, and it's surrounding you and encapsulating you because it is you, but as you become aware of that, breathe into it. Breathe into that field. Breathe into your energy, in through the nose and out through the mouth. And let it become clearer and clearer for you. And as you're focused into the heart, notice as you look out into your field that there are places in your field all around that you may see like little dense pockets, or pockets that are a little darker than others places, or places that shimmer, or places that pulse. There's lots of different things that can be hung up or sitting in your field. The reason I bring your awareness to that is that's all things that you are holding in attention in your field that are not resolved in some fashion. And the more of those that you have, the less energy you have available to spin your vibration up, to make changes in your experience. Now, again, this is not about being a bad thing. It's about awareness. That as you clear your energy, as you learn to meditate, as you learn to get quiet, those things begin to break up because you begin to release them consciously from your field, because they aren't necessary there, but they're there to help you learn more about this energy of who you are. So as you're breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, we're going to focus now, and I want you to bring all that awareness into your heart space. And I literally want you to call your field into this space of your heart. I want you to pull, literally feel like you're pulling the energy, commanding the energy in. And as you do, you're going to feel a little intensity. You're going to feel a little buzzy. You're going to feel maybe a little warmth, maybe a little tickle, maybe little bubbles. It's different for everybody, but I want you to experience that while your energy is coalescing around your heart. Feel it even more deeply. See it if you can. What colors do you see? Let it be informed. Let your energy inform the pictures in front of your brain. It's just the receiver. So just notice it, and you'll be seeing pictures in ways that have meaning for you. So as you pull that energy in and it coalesces around your heart, just let this amazing energy of the view begin to move through your body. Just let it explore the inside of your body. And this again is for you to start to become conscious of all of what's happening here. You're living in this extraordinary vessel that is filled with all kinds of systems that are working in harmony or whatever level of disharmony they're in. But these systems are all working together to create this physical existence that is you in physical, and the rest is energy. And so let yourself explore. Go into your head, explore around your brain. We're talking about the brain today. Get into that head and play in the fluid around the brain, right? Let yourself travel into where the pituitary is. See your own pituitary, maybe even tweak it with your imaginary finger. Just be aware of this magnificence. Let yourself travel around the back where the brainstem comes down and where it connects to the spine. This amazing conductor of energy that runs from the top of your body to the bottom of your body. This conductor that's wrapped in this beautiful fluid and surrounded by bone that's just constantly moving energy up and down, moving energy up and down, being informed by all of the nerves that are coming off of this amazing process in our body that's reaching out and creating balance, impulses, communication, all that's going on in here without your conscious awareness. And this is not to change that or interfere with that. This is to bring you into that conscious awareness, into that space of understanding, into that space of experiencing what's happening inside of you. And that the more you do that, the more you can begin to see the impacts of how your energy impacts your body. And so letting that travel around and expand, feeling the power of all of that, all of those systems inside your body that are working, that are programmed for life, that are programmed for aliveness, and that all you have to do is participate. And then as you're breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, while you continue that exploration, just focusing into the heart again. And now we're going to focus into the breath. The breath is the foundation of our life. The breath is prana, it's chi, it's life force. It is what keeps us alive and animated, right? The breath, the expansion of the lungs, bringing oxygen to this system, the exchange of gases, all that goes on around the breath. I want you to become aware of that. And we're going to now learn a little bit about how we use the breath to learn how to manage energy, because it is energy. Every breath is a moment of creation. As you breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, we're going to begin a counted breath process. We're going to breathe into a count of 4. We're going to hold that breath at a count of 4 at the top, feeling full. And then we're going to release the breath to a count of 6 so that we purge all of the old energy and air out of the lungs and out of the system, letting it go. And then we're going to rest in that emptiness. We're going to rest in the void, in anticipation, in allowing for the next moment of creation as you engage the lungs and begin to breathe again, inhaling 2, 3, and 4. So work with me now as we do this. We're going to focus now into the breath completely, staying centered into the heart as we inhale 2, 3, 4, and we rest in that, feeling full, feeling amazing, feeling filled, and then we release it 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Feeling that deeply, resting in the emptiness. Allow that emptiness. Just be with it. Be prepared. Be aware of the opportunity as you step in and breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Again, feeling full, feeling the aliveness running through your body as that air and that oxygen is circulated through the system. And then you surrender it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Beautiful. Now rest in the void. Relax into the emptiness. Relax into it. Allow it. Be with it. And now engage the lungs and inhale. 2, 3, 4. Feeling full. Feel the richness. Body is relaxed as we exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we rest again in the emptiness and anticipation. Just allowing for this moment of creation and inhaling, and continue this process. Continue the inhale, counting it on your own. Staying connected to my voice as you continue to breathe in through the nose, and you're coming up to the 4. You're going to rest at the top. Beautiful. Relax those shoulders and those neck. Just relax the body. And now purge. Let it go. Let all of that energy go. As you count down to 4 and 5 and 6, let it all go. Empty the vessel to be prepared for new energy and new life to enter that vessel now as you inhale. Taking in that life force, taking in that energy, feeling it deeply as you reach the top, relishing it as you choose to surrender it in the next moment. Letting it go as you go to a count of 6, surrendering all of that energy, letting it go, and then resting in the clarity that your moment of creation is here now as you inhale. A new moment of creation, a new moment of life. Breathe it in, take it in, feel it deeply, continue that breath process on your own. Continue to breathe in that fashion and continue to connect more deeply with every breath to you are a creator. And as we move into this topic of the brain today, just be aware that you just explored the physicality of your experience. And in exploring that, you are connecting more deeply to all that it is. And take those words in, feel the breath as you continue, and focus into this last cycle now of the breath. You can continue to breathe into this as long as you want to. You can breathe this way for the entire show. It will not harm you, it will only help you. But bringing our awareness back to this space now as we dive back into the topic at hand. Bring your awareness nice and easy and gently. When you're ready, open your eyes and reconnect to this space as we carry on our conversation. About the brain, our brain tuner, receiver, and amplifier. So before the break, we talked a little bit about this. Inner world is reflected in the outer world. And one of the profound things that happened for me over the last little bit while I was thinking about this stuff and while I was meditating on this stuff was seeing really powerfully, oh my gosh, the inner world and outer world stuff is really powerful, and profound. Because more and more, even in the bigger picture, I'm seeing inner reflected in the outer. I'm seeing my world. I keep talking about what I perceive on the outside is simply the reflection of my beliefs and ideas and concepts on the inside. And it's true just as much in mass consciousness as it is in individual consciousness. And so one of the things that happened today, as I was preparing for the show, was this interesting analogy that I found. We could sort of liken the brain to the internet. And isn't it interesting that the internet is this sort of unlimited potential, right? It is this gateway to connection. It is this gateway to potential information. It's a gateway to all kinds of things. And isn't it interesting that we provide it feedback, and in that feedback we get a feedback loop, right? We put stuff in, We put in, maybe we put up flowers and we put up food and we put up stuff, and then we get feedback. We get feedback from our friends or from people who don't know us. We get likes, we get loves, we get all kinds of different feedback. And then we take that feedback and we say, oh, that's good feedback, or oh, that's not good feedback. And we alter our behavior based on that feedback. Now think about it even more deeply. We when you come to this forum, to this internet forum, and say you're bringing a lot of anger and you're bringing a lot of rage to that space, and then what happens? You put it in, you voice your opinion, you run your mouth, you do your thing, you call out whatever you're calling out, and then you let it go, and then what you get is feedback. What you get is response. You've aligned your vibration, you've sent the information out, and now you're getting information back that's telling you whatever it's telling you. Some of it's telling you good, some of it's telling you not so good. There's all kinds of feedback loop happening there. I don't see the brain any differently. Yes, it is the hub of all kinds of activity, but in reality, it is a tuner. In the reality, is an amplifier. It is taking what, just like the internet, it's energy in, energy out, energy in, energy out. The brain is hearing, mass conscious thought is everywhere. Thought is everywhere. It doesn't disappear because you're not attending to it. Thought is there all the time. How many times have you wondered, where did that thought come from? How many times have you wondered, why am I thinking about that? It's all about tuning. It's all about frequency. It's all about where are you in the flow of frequency. If you're staying in a lower frequency, there's a certain bandwidth that happens in that frequency. And that bandwidth has all kinds of stuff in it. And that stuff is just your tuner, your receiver is just but understand it's also connected to this physical body. So the warehouse of the subconscious that is existing wherever it is, where we're going to call it the cloud, because that's what we call it, or on the internet, or anything like that, all of those things are there. And what happens is that as that receiver takes in information, if there is a corresponding vibrational match in your warehouse, it's going to bring those two together. And that thought now becomes your thought. Well, really, it was never your thought to begin with, nor is any other thought your thought to begin with. It is a thought. It is energy matching energy in the continuum, in frequency. And we get the opportunity to see that and respond to that. So when we are being unconscious in that experience, when we are not dialed into that experience, we become at the effect of. We begin to think of the brain as something controlling our experience. But as you become more of the observer, and as you become more connected to the observer, you begin to see that you can watch what happens between your ears. You can observe it anytime you want to. You can observe it. You can go into a third person in your own. And who is that third person? That third person is you. That is the energy that you experienced earlier, that vastness of who you are, right? So as you dive into these ideas and things, again, I'm not a scientist, and I'm not pretending to be. I'm talking about energy and frequency. Maybe that makes me an energy scientist. I don't know, but what I know and what I see is that we have the ability to observe. We have the power to disconnect from anything and observe it in front of us, and then have a response or do something or engage it. We all have that ability. Most of us don't use it because we're busy being affected by whatever shows up in our world. And part of that comes from the brain. Because again, I'm going to cycle back to what I said earlier. Remember, as a tuner, as a receiver, it's just tapped into all thought. It's all that energy is just roaming around. And the things that resonate with you are the things the receiver will pay attention to, right? When the vibration comes through, if it matches, and it matches something in your reality, in your warehouse, it's going to bring it forward, and it's going to become a part of you if you choose that. Most of us become unconscious at that process and don't realize we're choosing all kinds of shit that doesn't work, doesn't belong, isn't ours, and has no business being in our space. But we become attuned to believing that this thing is preeminent, is the leading edge, and it's not. Your consciousness is, your energy is. the nonverbal. Those the verbal part of this, if we could stop talking, we would do ourselves a great service, because it's what translates here and comes out here that re-stimulates here to create here to come back to us here to go through the process again. Is that pretty wild? I think it's pretty fascinating, and I think it's unbelievably empowering and unbelievably uplifting, because wow, I'm not the effect of this either. I can be, I have been, sometimes I still am, but I have the ability to disconnect and look at it and go, is that really what I want to do? Is that how I feel? Is that what I want to think? Is that what I want to? No, 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 no. I need to change that. Well, how do you change that? Part of it is changing the channel, changing the frequency. Where do you want to go? I think we've all heard about the emotional tone scale in some form or fashion, but energy has a similar, vibration. If you go on YouTube and look up all the different channels that offer music at 432 megahertz or at 960 megahertz or at 850 whatever's, and then each of those tunes, each of those has a specific vibration to a particular concept, idea, thought, belief, idea. So if you're vibrating at whatever it is, 963 megahertz, you're in a love vibration, right? It's also about alpha, theta, beta, all those things, all similar structures of stuff, all vibrational reality, right? All frequency. So if you think in terms of frequency, then you can begin to understand that, oh, I'm tuned to the wrong channel today. I don't want to be in this channel. So you got to tweak it. You got to, and how do you do that? Well, you have to change the physiology, right? You have to change the energy. If the physiology is locked into a certain frequency, well, what am I going to do to shift that? I need to engage physically to generate energy to shift and change that vibrational frequency. Because we're physical bodies, we're humans, we're here in this physical reality, learning how to be and do and live and expand and grow in this physical reality. So that's why I say it in the way that I say it. I'm sure that ultimately, and I'm sure the Ascended Masters are at that point, that they can simply see the vibration they're dealing with and say that that is incorrect vibration, shift, because they've learned how to use energy in that fashion. Each of us is learning that every single day. And my hope is that through this conversation, you'll have an opportunity to experience it a little differently. Understand, and please know, I'm not, there is nothing in this that's saying the brain is bad, that's saying anything about the brain is not good. It's all part of the process. It's all about becoming conscious. That's all. And so let's work together to move that whole idea forward. So in the analogy, let me see where I am here. Inner world reflected in the outer world. Good. So, and my analogy with the internet. So here I see that, again, it's such a powerful reflection that if you can see, and then you can observe, again, remember perception, the reflection of your beliefs, ideas, and concepts coming back to you. So when you think about the internet, the feelings, the thoughts, the ideas, anything that you have tied into that is all tied into beliefs and ideas and concepts. But they are no different, I believe, than how you feel about what you're able to do in other parts of your world, because it's not separate. We don't live in a vacuum. Our brain doesn't exist in a vacuum. It exists in a skull for sure, but it does not exist in a vacuum. So all of the energy is always continual. All of the experiences are one building on the other. And all of our life is a compilation of experiences moving us inexorably toward the things that we desire, because that's what motivates everything. But understand that your desires can be a myriad on a scale of horrible to magnificent. You have every shade of gray and blue and green and, I mean, whatever. There's so many different places you can go. So it is about consciously choosing where your focus is. And the other cool thing that happens is in the tuning process, as you recognize, and this is part of what I do with my work, which we'll talk about here shortly, but as you recognize the need for change, as you recognize the desire to be more or to learn more or understand more or to evolve more, you send a rocket out into the future of yourself or into the space, into the universe, into the energetic field of this powerful energy that is attracting to it all of the components of what you're looking for. But the thing that's important to understand is that here you stand in the decision. Here you've released this energy, this desire that's going forward. And so between your current vibration and that vibration, whatever's going on between here and there has to change. So anything that's in the way of, anything that's blocking or potentially an obstacle to, has to become conscious so that you can deal with it, address it, and move on, so that you continue to move forward. When you build that relationship with yourself and you build the trust through your daily practice, what happens is that you begin to build the habit of that. You begin to build that habit so that every time you step into this new situation, you're able to go there and go there successfully. And that's so important. And that's why the daily practice is so important, because the more you can observe, the more powerful you will be, because you will not be at the effect. You will be at the creation and the cause. Big difference in the place to be. So that's the power of being the observer. The observer allows you to see all aspects of your physical experience and beyond. It is a cultivated experience that comes through the process of learning how to breathe, learning how to get quiet, and quieting your mind. And once you do that, you begin to, I'm not saying that you will not be affected by the thoughts that run through your mind, or you will not have impact. You've spent however many years training yourself to pay attention here. So it doesn't go away overnight. And it gets better and better and better and better and better, but you're still a human. You're still in this experience, and it's still part of the process of unfolding. And there's probably a whole lot of this that we don't even comprehend yet. And that's what's even more exciting to me, is that this idea and this thought about this amazing organ that is this tuner and receiver, and liking it to the internet and understanding how you can see it in a way that allows you to observe it, that gives you permission to observe it. If you think of your mind like the internet, you can instantly objectify it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Actually, there's everything right with that. Let yourself have that. Let yourself go there so that you can begin to observe your own process. I've been shocked at times when I find some of the stuff that shows up in my mind. Shocked by the thought, shocked by the thing that I wanted to come out of my mouth that I didn't put out my mouth, because I was like, where did that come from? And sometimes when you have a collision of events, sometimes that happens and inadvertently, and you find yourself stepping in a pile. And then you go, and so now you got to clean up the pile because you used your energy in a way that you didn't like, or you created an outcome you weren't interested in. In any case, you still have the ability to observe it, not judge you or yourself, be in forgiveness because you're in a learning process, and make different choices, because that event is not the end of everything. That's just another step. So how are you going to step next? Are you going to get more conscious so that as you step, you're stepping in power, you're stepping in alignment, or are you going to step haphazardly or step unconsciously and continue the process on? And really, if you can stop and observe your own life experience for even an hour, you will see all of these things that I'm talking about. I guarantee you. It's just simply a moment of getting quiet, being the observer, finding that space of the observer. It's extraordinary, it's powerful, and it's life-changing, because in the end, it will also change your relationship with fear, because you will see how the brain, in doing its job, in making associations energetically, generates fear based on what's in your personal warehouse. Because remember, things that upset me may not upset you at all, right? So this is deeply personal. This is deeply internal stuff going on here. Spend 15 minutes of it. You will be able to see it. You'll be able to begin to see it. So give yourself permission to do that, because it is that powerful and that useful and that life-changing to give yourself the ability to see that. And we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back right after this. I'll be right back. Oh, I'm back again because I didn't push my next button. Here we go.
Science of transformation method, and I can't tell you the difference that it's made in my life.
This program is all about you coming into the greatest form of you. All right, www.thesciencetransformation.com. This is the work that I do. What we're talking about today, this ability to transform your experience, the ability to become more the observer, all of these are part of what we evolve through in the process of the science of transformation. The sessions that I do, the work that I do with people is all about helping them reframe their experience. It's all about everything we've talked about, setting the clarity of what I want, and then recognizing that when you encounter rubs, when you encounter challenges, the idea is then not to look backwards for understanding, because nothing back there is preparing you for that. It already did. You're here in this moment. You're right here, right now, on the threshold of something brand new. So the reframing is so important to understanding how you're going to move from here into the future, unattached to what was. What was has already informed you. What was is already brought you to be here and now in this moment. It is no longer relevant to where you're going. And so reframing is helping to disconnect those hooks and those things that keep us tied to that stuff. It isn't saying that the past is not valuable or useful. It can be. And it can be amazing in meditation when you are wanting to feel deeply in appreciation, and you can be in appreciation for something that happened 25 years ago and be in deep appreciation for it and recreating that energy so that you are building more and more of that. But anyway, so the scienceoftransformation.com, there you can reach out to me. You can check out, I've got an introductory package where you get 2 sessions for the price of 1. I've got a free consultation. So if you are looking to do this transformational work, you want to change your relationship with fear, you want to see your life excel in ways that you couldn't even have imagined, you can reach out to me to set up a consultation to see if this work is right for you. So check it out, www.thesciencetransformation.com. Check out the videos, check out the testimonials. I think you'll find I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of people over the last decade, and have had profound success with people expanding and changing their lives. So join us there, will you? We'd love to have you. And we'll be right. Well, we don't need to be right back. We'll just carry on with our conversation. So the last segment that I want to dive into real quickly here is distinguishing between 2 roles that you can support your mind and brain in as you do your work. And that is the role of the conductor or the role of the director. And most of us have chosen the role of the director for our brains, because we believe that it is, again, it being outside of our comprehension, it is the thing that drives our life. And that is completely incorrect. It can be the conductor. And the conductor is the one who takes the various parts and helps them to come together in this orchestra, in this symphony of beautiful, this symphony of joy, this symphony of my world is good. Because it will take the energy that you generate and begin to weave a tapestry in your life where things will begin to show up and people will begin to show up and feelings and experiences will show up that will uplift you into that direction that you're looking to move, that will uplift and move you deeply into this new space. And it will help you navigate through some of the bumps in the road that are going to show up of the things that need to be addressed or changed or attended to help you reach that direction. When you let the brain be the director, you are not, one, observing your process, but you're also not able to effectively create in the direction you want, because the brain is still driving the show, and all the randomness that's going on all over the universe in the energetic field causes this distortion. So your vibration becomes shaky. Your core becomes less stable because you are giving power to this instead of to all of that you are. And when you embrace all that you are, then the brain will be a conductor, and a glorious conductor in the physical reality. Because as we go back to the beginning, it is the amplifier. It is, let me find it. There it is. It is the amplifier. It is the tuner. It is the receiver. It is all of those things. So I hope you can take this analogy with you, and I hope you carry it in understanding of how to begin to change that relationship, shifting to a more conscious place, understanding that this brain is tuning to what you focus on. It's tuning to the energy you're putting out. It's receiving back feedback from the universe about the energy that you're putting out. And then it's amplifying whatever you're attending to. Isn't that extraordinary? And it's right inside here. It's not something out there in the universe that's doing it. It's happening right between your ears. I think that's freaking amazing. And not only is it amazing, how empowering to know that it all resides here and that you have that ability and that power. You just need to harness it. You just need to step into it. Develop that, cultivate that observer state. Get yourself into a place, and it doesn't matter how you do it. Everybody has a different way. Some of us breathe, I do my hikes every day, and I use those hikes as meditations. But I also do meditation on my just being quiet in my space here, just clearing and doing the things I like to do to help me be the best that I can be. And sometimes it doesn't change the level of challenging in your life. This is what I need, another important piece of this. And I think I iterated this before, but the predominance of my experience is joy. The predominance of your experience should be joy. And there are things that will come up, there's stuff that will happen. And we live in the world, so we're constantly impacted by stuff. But being conscious of your process helps you to disconnect from reactionary experience and shift you into responsibility, being able to respond as opposed to react. Being responsible, the ability to respond to whatever is going on. When you can come from a place of response, you come from a place of power because you are not ruled by an emotion and you're not ruled by a thought. You find clarity and truth, and you come from that place, and then you can allow whatever else shows up. So if it's a difference of opinion, if it's a difference of viewpoint, it doesn't become a threat. It's simply another potential opportunity. And that you can take that information and you can wish it around and you can say, how do I feel about that? Does that feel right? Does that resonate? Does it cause my energy to spin up? I might want to play with this. On the other hand, is it sticky? Is it gross? Is it tacky? Does it make my energy spin down? And then I don't want that. That's not where I want to go. So those are the choices every day, every minute, every moment. And you go, God, that sounds exhausting. I guess it can be if it's thought of as a punishment or a chore. Again, it's all about the focus. It's all about how you experience it. I can't even begin to tell you how amazing it felt in contemplation for my show today to come to this place with the brain and see the things that I've been looking at and things I've been dealing with and things in my own personal life, and seeing all of it come together in this way that offers this amazing opportunity for me to share this. I'm just kind of mind blown because, again, I'm not claiming to be a scientist, but I am a pretty powerful energy master. I've studied a lot of stuff. I've done a lot with this process. And so that's why I feel comfortable talking about it the way I do. Do you have to agree with me? No, you don't have to agree with me. I'm offering it as an opportunity. I'm offering it as a potential for you, if you're looking for those opportunities, to explore in ways maybe you haven't explored before, or to see things in ways maybe you haven't seen them before. And maybe these things connect dots for you differently than they connect for me, but they're still connecting dots. And that's what's important. Because the more of those dots we connect individually and collectively, the more powerfully our evolution moves forward. And the more powerfully we grow as individuals, and our ability to love and bring that goodness to this planet, because we begin to disconnect from all the things that aren't real. Spend 15 minutes and just watch the trash that runs through there. I'm going to venture to say 90% of it has nothing to do with you. 90% of it has nothing to do with you or your life or what you're doing or anything else. It's debris. It's just random thoughts. And if one connects to you, it's because it's resonated with something that you already think or believe. Understand that. And that's where the resonance comes. That's where the light thing lights up and you go, oh. And instead of that, thinking you've missed something, be in the position of just observing it. And then you can choose it one way or the other. And that's the beauty of it. That's the power of it. And ultimately, that's what this whole platform for me is about. Feel into it all. And then make choices that uplift, make choices that bring more love and more joy, and stop attending to all the crap that doesn't. Find ways to disengage from that. Find ways to change that energy. Find ways to tune differently. Check your dial. Find out what you're tuned to. What are you getting? What is your feedback? What are you experiencing from the world? If you're not happy with it, change the channel. Tune differently. Work at tuning differently. Work at spinning that vibration so that you get a different channel that's at a different frequency, a frequency that uplifts you, a frequency that takes you to the next place, a frequency that fills you with way more joy and love than the frequency you may be at now. Thank you for being part of this show. Thank you for letting me do this. Thank you for hearing me. Thank you for sharing this. And thank you just for your energy. I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate those of you watching and participating, being out there. I feel you. I thank you. It drives what I do every time I come on to this show and to do this show. So you all have an amazing weekend. Thank you for being here. I hope that your world is good. My world is good. And everywhere you can, find your joy because it changes everything. Find your joy. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Adventures in Truth Livecast. Please like, subscribe, and share. If you'd like to learn more about Jim's book, Fear is a Choice, Unraveling the Illusion of Our Separation from Love, check it out at www.fearisachoicebook.com. Also check out Moments of Truth, a new offering from Adventures in Truth. If you'd like to work with Jim, check out www.thesciencetransformation.com to book a session. Tune in live every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time and every Friday, 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Or look for our new releases and podcasts every Monday. Until next time, be well, and we'll see you again on Adventures in Truth Livecast.